Hi everyone, it is today Tuesday the 28th of July and we are still living in quite uncertain times, and as part of my weekly updates I'll give a little bit of information about where we are with the coronavirus and also some school information. So in regards to the coronavirus and COVID-19, there are currently 4,714 active cases in Australia. Now that's a lot. Nothing compared to the rest of the world, so it's important to recognise that in general Australia is still dealing with this in a coordinated and appropriate way. So it's not out of control, but we are not out of the woods either. One of the things I think that we should learn from what happened in the first series of lockdowns and the spread of the virus is that there's no room for complacency. And if I have been right in reading my analysis of what's happened in Victoria, one of the issues was that when the COVID-19 cases reduced to almost zero in most states and territories, many of us became complacent. And people were thinking, well, we're over the worst of it, and didn't understand the seriousness of the virus and how contagious and communicable it is. And so what happened in Victoria should be a lesson to everybody, not for us to make sure that we don't relax and that we follow health directions and maintain social distancing. I think that we need to do everything that we possibly can and learn to live differently. I'm going to give you an example. I had to go to an engagement party last week in Brisbane, which at a venue which normally takes about 500 people, and they only had 150 in that venue, and we were well spread out. People were really only allowed to get up from their table at different times because of the need to maintain social distancing throughout that venue. There was no drinks on the table, there were no water jugs on the table. It was full table service, so that if you needed something, basically you had to ask for a waiter or one of the caterers to come over to your table. We got our meals in sealed, individualised containers, which was a little bit unusual, obviously. If there was someone next to you who had gone to the toilet when it was time for them to be served, the caterers would not leave their plate there because they wanted to make sure that everyone was responsible for their own meal and not share with anybody else. Even not having water jugs on the table because different people obviously touch the jug, so they wanted to make sure that that wasn't something might transmit the virus as well. So people are taking precautions. Some people get upset about these things, and I know I've seen videos, as everybody else has, about people refusing to wear masks in Victoria. All those sorts of things put everybody at risk. So my advice at this stage is that probably for the next 12 months or until June next year, when people are saying that's the earliest that we can actually have a vaccine, we are going to have to take precautions and maintain our following of health advice to ensure that we're individually safe, but also that we are not endangering the lives of others as well. So let's make sure that we are patient and maintain those guidelines in terms of social distancing, washing our hands, covering up if we're sneezing, and only really going out if we really have to. So that's from the COVID side. On the positive of Queensland, I know the Queensland government was criticised at one stage for not opening its borders, but it looks like now everybody's saying, well, that was the right decision. So I think if we make sure that we, I guess, err on the side of safety and precaution as we move forward, that's obviously the right thing to do under the current environment. No new cases in Queensland, so again, that's a positive thing, but just like in Victoria, it could happen here if we become complacent. So let's continue to exercise caution and follow those health guidelines. School. Okay, number one focus that we're going to have for the school now is attendance, because students have missed a lot of face-to-face learning time this year, so you cannot learn if you are not here. And that old saying that we've heard over and over again, that every day counts, is more true than ever. So we need to make sure that we can do as a school whatever we can to help you to make sure that your child gets to school every day. And unless they have some symptoms which are related to COVID-19, I would say make sure they get to school, because you cannot afford for them to be behind. I know that every one of you wants the best for your children, and the best that you can do for your kids in terms of setting themselves up for a happy and successful future is actually to get them to school. So if you need help, let us know, but that is the number one focus that we will have for this term, is following up on attendance. You may receive some letters this week, and they've got like little red things on them for red alerts and amber alerts, all about attendance. Look, I'm not trying to upset people or scare people. I just want to highlight the importance of this, of how important it is for your children to come to school. Not just for learning, not just to get a better job. You know, it's better in terms of their life. On average, young people these days that are leaving school will live till about 80, 85, which means they have a good 70 odd years left after school. Now, if we want them to be happy and successful in their lives after school, we need to make sure that they come to school and are supported to learn and achieve to the best of their ability. So a couple of things that are coming up. Parents who are looking to enrol their kids, Pathways to Prep is starting tomorrow. Now, some people have asked about enrolment. If you're looking to enrol your student at Tullawong State School, then all you need to do is pop into the office and pick up an enrolment pack, and people in the office will talk to you about anything else or any other questions that you might have. So that would be the first thing. And in general, if you have questions or issues, call the school, drop into the office and come and have a chat. That's the best way to get more information about anything, really. In terms of the PNC has asked me to let you know about a couple of things. First of all, Father's Day stall, they are doing that. And that is happening, I think, on the 3rd of September. There'll be a Father's Day stall for kids to be able to buy little gifts from the PNC for their dads. We also are, with the PNC, having a working bee on the 12th of September. That's a Sunday, so Sunday afternoon from around midday till about 4 o'clock, just to have the school ready for the spring. So obviously around that time lots of grass is growing. We want to make sure that we've got everything cut back, you know, whippersnippering, doing some mulching in the gardens and things like that. So we appreciate it if you can come along and help out for that. And a few other things that are happening at the moment. We are still going ahead with the Canberra trip for next year. So we're hoping that obviously all the things have settled down and that we go ahead with that. And I think that will be quite okay to have that running next year. And look, last of all, we've got parent-teacher interviews this afternoon. I hope to see as many of you there as can come along. But remember, you don't have to wait for parent-teacher night to contact the school. You can contact the school at any time. Now, our school here, I like to think that one of our big things here is doing as much as we can to support children. So if there is anything that we can do, particularly if you have advice about things that your child is interested in, which the teacher might be able to use to help engage them a bit more at school, that would be really appreciated. Contact your teacher, let them know. But look, you know, I guess to sum up, let's exercise caution and follow the health guidelines, keep social distancing, make sure people are washing their hands, don't go out if you don't really need to, and get your kids to school. That's my one plea. Look, you know, if you love your kids and you want the best for their future, you know, the best thing to do is actually look after their health and get them to school. So, look, I hope to see you in the next few weeks when we have different activities, and hopefully we'll see some of you here for the working bee. So, look forward to seeing you, and I'm hoping you've had a good start to the second semester of school for 2020.